I was just very struck by how somebody who'd been dealt a pretty bad hand in a lot of ways, had really was such a positive person and had worked so hard to make a good life for himself.
He's got a lot of strength, and I think that's very impressive.
He's selfless. He's very concerned about other people, and he's just a good guy.
When I was born and up until about 12 or 13, I could see perfectly fine, just like anybody else. I had 5 members in my family, besides my mom and dad. Everybody could see perfectly fine, except my oldest sister Barb. She first went blind, about the same age. Then my brother Mark, who was 2 years older than I am, and I went blind after them. Well, I still have a little bit of vision left now. I could see perfectly well one day, and the next day stuff was much more blurry. I was running into things. So I only had about 25% vision left, and then I lost the rest over time, where I only have about maybe 3% vision now, where I can see a little light and dark. You know, that's like with these really bright lights, or if it's bright and sunny outside. But awesome thing I thank God for is that being able to see once before helps me out so much compared to somebody who hasn't been able to see at all, because I have a mental picture of what everything looks like. That's why I still don't know what colors are. If you come to my apartment, I have pictures of my guide dogs and friends over the place, because I love pictures and I still can see what they are. I love going up to my pastor and people at church and going, "Hey, that's a really nice new green blouse. Where'd you get that in?" And just watching them laugh and kind of smiling like, "Kara, how'd you know that?" I said, "Well, I got my spies," I tell them.
My name is Jessica Koner. I've been working here at Opportunity Partners for a little over 4 years now. I met Gary in 2007 on my first day of work. Gary struck me as being especially friendly, very easy to talk to. He really cared a lot about it still cares a lot about doing his best work, and really wanted feedback and wanted guidance on, you know, how he could be the best employee he could be, and has also had a continuing interest in working in the community.
Opportunity Partners is a nonprofit organization serving adults with disabilities. So we serve people from about 18 on up, and people with all kinds of disabilities, brain injury, autism, developmental disabilities, and some physical disabilities or disabilities like blindness.
Well, I chose Opportunity Partners for a couple different reasons. One, as a blind person, I hadn't worked all that much in my whole life, and I did a job trial there, and I found out that sure, there's a lot of other disabilities, but God showed me that this was a good fit for me, that I could do a lot of jobs with my hands and stuff, and I got a very glowing report back. It's been just a great partnership. I get to do a variety of jobs. I feel a lot of accomplishment, a lot of reward when we work together as a team. So it's just a great company to work for. So very blessed that God led me there. I play beep baseball for the blind. It's a great sport. It's there's a ball that you pull the pin out, it beeps, beep, 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 and then there's a cadence: set, ready, pitch. And when you hear the P and pitch, you know when to start swinging. There's 4 strikes. You can pass on 1, and we have 2 bases. Only one gets turned on and makes like a sound. And if you get to the base before the fielder picks it up, you're safe. If he picks it up before you get to your out. And there's also different positions on the field. We have 2 volunteers usually.
I've known Gary over 20 years. I met him at church, Evergreen Community Church, and just clicked with him right away. And I was just fascinated that he was so upbeat and so positive, considering his disability.
I'm very thankful because I had a dad that was very he wasn't overprotective like a lot of parents can be, and I think he always encouraged us still to do, everything. Even though I couldn't like do certain things on the farm, he always still found things for me to do. So I think that helped, and definitely having my sister Barb as a role model in my own family that was blind helped a lot, especially moving down here for the first time.
I know Gary has talked to me about how faith has been one of the most important supports for him throughout his life, and I definitely noticed that his connection to his community of faith is very strong.
You can really sense how it is, and it's very easy to pick up his attitude and really kind of feel what he's feeling.
When I was in high school, I didn't know the Lord, but I could tell he was kind of starting to work with me on things, and none of my family knew Christ at all. I graduated from high school. I think one of the things that led me to coming to know him was my mother passing away when I was a senior in high school. In our family, we have a disease called Huntington's disease, which is a very nasty disease. It's a genetic disease. So I think seeing my mom go through that, because it's a very long disease, 5 different stages you go through, and so I don't wish it on anybody. So I went to University of North Dakota, and I got hooked up with a football player who was part of Campus Crusade for Christ, and went to a retreat, and God just was working on my heart, and so I got to know him then. And but I have to say, when I moved down to the Twin Cities from North Dakota, which is a big transition, I kind of fell away from him for a little while. But in 1990, I rededicated my life to the Lord, and been a pretty strong follower ever since then.